also
the good matches, because the thing for VIP matches is they are in the arena for the VIPs, so they always set the best matches for the
Calling for
VIPs.
Silat from the red
absolutely.
corner.
So it's going to be a fine finish to the day.
Yeah.
Save the best for last. Save the best for last. That's what we do. So interesting here as we get into the action. It's now going to be our second last event of the early session. Just as we said, the senior match male I and Mohammed SYAHIRAN bin Jafri of Singapore facing off with SARANON GLOMPAN. Our referee also has, well, just explaining the rules first before they start off. So Team Singapore in the blue corner this time, and Team Thailand in the red.
In the face.
But the last thing you want to do is start off with a misdemeanor. So
First warning for the red corner.
first punch, he hit the face.
And an appeal from the Thailand coach. Well, that's a massive. That would be the first deduction that we've seen today, which has gone into the negative.
First punch.
So a negative, -5 if that holds. It's still a first.
Yeah.
It's still a first. So let's not. There's always a positive to everything, I guess, in life. So.
See, they are checking the.
Would you say, Ross, that the new rules and regulations call for a lot more attention from the officials and,
Yeah. Now you see, every one of them need to be very focused, very alert. Because every mistake you make is recorded.
And you also have a restriction on the appeals.
Yeah.
So it's not like
They say
it's not free country there.
I finished 2 cards.
Absolutely.
Then my Silat get unfair call. Then I have no way to protest. So the official must be very alert.
So a lot of thought has to go in from the coaches as well before they pull out the card and
that's
appeal.
right. See, now the first punch he pulled 1 card, so he left with 1 card for the rest of the games.
And they're actually going to view that. They're going to view that.
If successful,
move.
fine, you save 5 points. But if not successful, you just finish 1 card. You left with 1 more card for the whole game.
So you have to be so convinced about what you're appealing for, and I think if this works in favor of Thailand, he'll just be really happy he pulled out that card.
Worthwhile. The reason we only give 2 cards because we don't want people just complain for the sake of complaining. Every single decision they dispute. That means you cannot progress the games. You keep on stop and stop and stop. So you limit with 2. They have to be careful.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's really a difficult call for the officials as well, because it involves a couple of replays. And now, of course, in some sports, they do actually allow you to see the entire replay process.
Yeah, they will put here the big screen. So when they make the decision, they will post at the big screen. Everybody will see. We never see because you don't.
We can't, of course, because we are the.
But the audience, they can see from the big screen.
So that actually works really beautifully in terms of, because just as you mentioned earlier, the movement happens to be so fast that when there's contact to the face, of course when it's blatant and the hand stays for some time, you can actually tell.
Yeah.
But when there's a pullback after the
It
punch,
is
it's difficult.
it is the you know the vest sometimes is slippery, is wet, so sometimes it slip and go to the face.
So what you're saying is that if it's not intentional, there won't be a point
You know,
deduction, or they
if
still will hold.
intentional or not intentional, if hit the face direct, is a penalty. But if he hit the vest, then slip to the
That's
first contact. The first contact is the vest, so it's legal.
Which then it's actually purely a mistake.
Yeah, it's legal attack.
Okay.
Up.
So that's not worked in favor of Team Thailand. So that -5 will hold for SARANON GLOMPAN. Not the best way to start an outing today for our Thailand Silat. So Mohammad SYAHIRAN has just got, well, 5 points on a platter, literally, with his opponent being in the drop zone, and there
Let it drop for the
it's a
blue
bit
corner.
of confidence also for Mohammad. So now he's on 4 points, and that's another drop.
Let it drop for the blue corner.
This really actually is all about timing, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
counter a drop, and if you can pull off a successful counter, it's really more timing than anything else.
Yeah.
Still waiting for his points count to change. Was there an
That's-
appeal
that's-
for that
that's
kick?
Because it's when your fella make the scissors,
The red corner.
you can counter once.
Do twice kick.
But
he did it
After
twice.
He
the
did
blue
twice.
corner do the scissor.
After he kick, then he get the second kick.
I did think that second kick might have been
Illegal.
brought into contention, and I think that's what's happened right here.
This fella he dispute the thing.
So here's the bit. There's 1 minute 22 seconds left, and can you believe we're still in round one?
No.
This one. So this is the interesting bit, right? So every match has brought about a different element every time. There's been smiles in one, there's been aggression in one, there's been extreme pace in one, there's been even a walkover. It's been quite a day for us. So we're down to our last two events of the first session. Remember that in the second session today we're going to have the opening ceremony followed by two VIP matches. That's something to watch out for. You will see pace, aggression and defense in that one. Well, you've seen it for most parts of the day, but that's going to be something worth waiting for. So do stay with us right till the end of the day, and then we'll have you with us tomorrow and day after as well, because the day after is when we have the closing ceremony after the final few matches. There's a lot that's gone into putting this event together, and for Silat specifically, Roz, who would you credit in Singapore in terms of support? Which are the organizations that have very, strongly supported Silat right through?
The sports ministry, because we are in the sports area, If they don't give us support, we can go nowhere. But the people who put in the effort is the people on the ground. If they don't convince the ministry, you don't get everything. When you convince them, you have to put lots of groundwork. Then you can convince people to support you.
And you have to stand good on your promises as well and deliver. That's so important, isn't it?
If you go to games, you bring back medals, you bring back gold medals, you get world champs. Then the ministry, whatever I support is, worthwhile. It's money well spent. Singapore is all dollar and cent, so it's money well spent. If the ministry keep on pumping, and there's no result. Maybe down the road they'll pull back because there's no benefit.
Warning
There's
2
no
given to the red
what is
corner.
it? Yeah. Whoa.
So there was another, well, there was an appeal there from Team Singapore, and it's been upheld. So SARANON GLOMPAN, I can't help but feel bad for him. He was down to -14. Now, of course, it's -12 after he scored 2 hits, but scored a kick actually.
Yeah.
But
you know why the kick he get -10? Because the first one he get -5-1. So this is the second penalty, second reprimand.
so that
So the second one is 10, so -10. So he get -5 for the first one and -10 for the second one is already 15. Oh, disqualification.
DQ given.
Disqualification.
for Silat
So that's the
in
third
red
one.
Disqualification.
and that's a
Yeah.
disqualification. So we did say we've seen all events in today's game, but there is an appeal that's coming
Yeah.
in from the Thailand coach.
I'm sorry. Everyone can see, in here. No, in here. Salap. Salap.
And that's going to be called in. Remember, he had 2-point deductions and they were quite huge. Took SARANON to 14. And the third one, of course, just as Ross pointed out, and it's part of the rules here, it's disqualification if it's upheld. So the Thailand coach, or the coach in the red corner, appealing for that, because we are still in round 1 and you don't want to see this probably has been the most well, I'd say interesting match of all the ones we've had here today, and that's mainly because due to the rules, and you had
Uncontrolled aggression.
yes, you had SARANON GLOMPAN and Mohammad SYAHIRAN being relegated to their color boxes time and again, or their colored squares. So this review, of course, will make or break whether Thailand are still in it. There are some days, Ross, when you just have a bad day at the office,
Yeah.
and you can't help it. You just get out there. No matter what you do, no
Yeah.
matter what loopholes you cover, something has to go wrong. It will go wrong.
You see, his first punch got it -5. The very first punch.
It started off disastrous
Yeah.
for SARANON GLOMPAN. So interesting now to see whether he will survive, and if he survives, I would say he's still got a strong fighting chance, because
Yeah.
but we haven't seen blatant errors like this, so this has been the first.
Yeah.
And that's what the Thailand coach was
Yeah. You see, hitting
talking
here
about.
and slip on top.
It was an elbow to
Yeah.
the side of the upper arm.
If direct to the face, it's illegal. Where is he?
And this looks like it might hold in Thailand's favor. They're still trying to decide.
There.
It looks like it was a direct hit.
Oh, finish.
It is. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it was a direct hit to the face, and we did get there's been a proper review of that. Can't help but feel a bit unfortunate here for
Match
SARANON GLOMPAN. So it was the first disqualification. We had one walkover today, but this is the first disqualification, and Mohammad SYAHIRAN bin Jaffrey pulls off another win. He was anyway sailing with positive points. Unfortunate here for SARANON GLOMPAN, but he'll be back another day, and it will be interesting to see him in action again. So more power to him and all the best to him. But for now, it is Mohammad SYAHIRAN bin Jaffrey who will take that score at 7, and SARANON GLOMPAN at -12 in round 1 as the benchmark for what might have happened going ahead in this match.